Darius get to play Jax for the first time in like 3 years.
Here's the interesting thing about this. Even though Darius could play Jax, it would leave the door open for Balls to play Renekton, and then they either play the lane swap game, where Jax is a little bit, can kind of survive against Renekton, but that's not the game that TSM likes to play. If they pick Jax into a straight up 1v1 against a Renekton from Balls, they would lose that matchup. If they do the lane swapping while Jax might win, the rest of the team could suffer. So I feel like TSM is kind of battling against themselves a little bit after this ban phase.
Well, we'll see. Elise is available for Audwin if he wants to play it. Of course, that wasn't a high priority before.
They're really talking about this one too.
Thresh could be the grab for a special. They can't go LeBlanc with this one. Of course, LeBlanc and Soraka both banned away. And they're saying, you know, if Renekton beats Jax, then let's go Renekton. And Darius can run that.
Trying to think through TSM's logic here. They got standard lanes in game one. That's generally what they were going for. So they want to make sure they can at least win standard lanes if they get it again. Of course, that's going to leave them open to Cloud9 doing the 4-1 push, doing heavy rotations and map movements throughout the mid game, and forcing that way. An interesting strategy to first pick the Renekton. That was when Darius went massive, though, in Game 3 against COG, is when he got to play Renekton.
Yeah, there was a stat, I don't know if someone wrote it down wrong, but I thought there was something like a 51 KDA with Darius on Renekton. He was 5-0 with the champion, and he's a player good enough, like, he probably didn't die, it has accrued that kind of a KDA. I mean, Meteos had a 38 Lee Sin KDA back in the day, in the earlier part of the split, like, and yeah, he won that CLG game so strongly, like, that really just might be a stat line there. Cloud9, the Elise, and interestingly enough, with the Lucian ban, Graves, once again here for Sneaky.
That's actually kind of to be expected from Cloud9. When they couldn't get Lucian against Curse, they played Graves, and those have been his 280 carries throughout the playoffs. I actually kind of look at Lucian as just being a slightly better Graves as far as short range, short dash, long range ultimate that can have an impact in team fights. And Cloud9 can play very much the same way, whether they have Lucian or Graves. That's why they picked it here.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty good plug-in for the team. Cloud9 once again taking their time with their mid lane pick. TSM to make their choices. And TSM, I mean, they're taking a very, very long time. Not hovering over anything, just the concentration on the face. You can see them talking, Bjergsen, Audwin back and forth. A lot is on the table for these guys, right?
So much is on the table here for Team Solo Mid. Lucian out of it. And TSM goes for, I think they're going to lock in those Xin Zhao and Corki picks. Obviously, Turtle didn't have the greatest performance last game. Did get outlaned a little bit by Cloud9's duo, and Odd1 was not able to make an impact on Xin Zhao, but with stronger lanes, there is a chance that it could have a bigger impact this game.
Yeah, TSM picking the same champs as last time, the only difference being that Renekton was banned in game one, so TSM got it this time for Dyrus, so ostensibly an upgrade on the lineup, but if they think the only mistake was strategic play as opposed to them getting out-comped in champ select, this could be TSM wanting to just repeat the performance and just try again in version 2.
But Cloud9's strategic play was just so good.
Absolutely.
Teams generally do not beat them at that game. That's what TSM wants to try and go and do. Cloud9, of course, still having their trends as far as pick goes. The supports that they've played throughout the playoffs have been very long-range supports. A couple Morgana, Karma game as well. They picked Morgana and Jax. So they're going to be looking to do lane swaps, absolutely.
This is interesting to me because I feel like the mind games get more severe at this stage because the red team is typically the team that initiates the lane swap. They send their duo lane top. Most of the time, that is how I see it being set up. So if TSM really wants to do 2v2s, they either mirror that and Cloud9 knows that and mind games it, or someone gets really deep wards down to find the matchups they're looking for.
That's going to be so interesting as we go into this one. As far as TSM's meta is concerned, what are they planning here? Why would they hover Rumble? That makes more sense.
It's Wild Turtle, man. He's wild. They can't tame him. He just picks whatever he wants and locks him at the end. TSM, if they do... Yeah, the thing is, if TSM was getting out-positioned before, if they grab more engaged, they can maybe get in on this.
This is such an early game team that TSM is locking down right now. Karma and Renekton, as far as lanes go, have a steep decline after the 25-minute mark as far as overall power goes. Not to mention, Corki does not have a 6-item scaling as well as other AD carries. TSM is absolutely looking to dominate lanes and try and win the game that way against Cloud9. They're going all in with this strategy.
All in, indeed. I mean, there was a line that was said during CLG vs TSM, which was, this is the comp TSM wants to win, or wants to use when they want to win at 25 minutes. And this is basically the same thing right here. This is.
I said yesterday.
Yeah, it was you.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. It was you who said it. So I'm glad you caught me on that quote. Good job,
Awesome.
Jat. Lulu comes
coming
through.
down, trying to match support for support in the mid lane. Lulu is very much like Karma. Karma mid lane, I feel like, arises because you look at why Lulu is strong and you say, if that's true, what else is true? And Karma is most similar to sharing those characteristics with long range, slowing Q damage. Also, all of the shield ability power ratio scaling. Cloud9 with a very strong late game teamfight composition.
Yeah, just imagine if Balls gets rolling there. You've got a black shield and Lulu, a mid lane Lulu, so a very powerfully shielding and wild growthing Lulu to make you run around and go mental. Last time we saw Balls play Jax, he got a quadra kill against Curse, and I would say not single-handedly carried, but had such a giant impact that he was a large reason for the victory there of C9. So TSM have to know that. I mean, they had to have watched that game and say, okay, keep this in mind. Balls quadra equals we probably lose. Don't let it happen.
Don't let quadra kills happen against you or pentakills. Those are generally
only Bjergsen
showing you lose the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Bjergsen gets the penta, they'll be okay. Okay. Well, the game is about to get underway, so tweet your predictions to @LOL Esports and use the hashtag TSMWin or C9Win. We want to hear from you guys. And let us know who you think is really going to take this one. Cloud9 definitely with a commanding game one, but it's a fresh game, fresh slate. See if TSM can pull it back.
And it's going to be rather critical. I mean, the head-to-head score between these two teams is now moved to 11-1. That is the most devastating playoff victory Cloud9 has ever had against TSM, 18 kills to 1.
Yeah.
TSM does not lose that badly very frequently, and then the time they have to adapt isn't very long either. They were able to come back in Game 2 against COG. Almost everyone had actually written them off after seeing that Game 1. So do not count this team out. They've been around for a while.
They absolutely have. This is a team that tends to always do rather well in playoffs no matter what. Even if TSM's the underdog, they show up. I remember you were talking about last playoff performances. TSM came into the summer playoffs last year with an 0-4 record against CLG and 2-0'd them back in the old quarterfinals. The crowd, obviously very much in TSM's favor, thinking they can pull back Game 2.
There's a few Cloud9 supporters trying to come in as well.
Yes, there are. This is going to be fun. This is kind of the new top rivalry of North America.
Yeah, honestly.
TSM CLG won't go away, but TSM C9 is the finals so much.
Throughout the spring split here in 2014, everyone was waiting for this best-of-5 matchup between TSM for Cloud9 because the whole split, they were head and shoulders above everyone else as far as overall record goes, and they traded the #1 seed a couple of times as far as the standings are concerned. And we're going to get the final standings in just a couple more games.
Couple to a few, depending.
Couple to a few. If it's a couple, that
Then
means
it would be-
Cloud9 wins.
Absolutely.
If it's a few, TSM still has a chance.
Got to see what it is. TSM still holding the fan vote online. 127 in the game. Battle line so far drawn. Line of scrimmage, but it's a match. So a line of matchage for these guys. Cloud9, sneaky.
That is a quadra
Helping the
kill.
team go through.
Let's go, get the penta.
It's not supposed to
All right.
happen.
Well, pentakill happened at some point.
Obviously, here we have Cloud9 invading pretty heavily.
And here we go. So the invade down towards the bottom side of the map. C9 do want to be against the weaker turret, even if there is a lane swap. TSM waiting around of the wings, though. They're going for a flank. C9 going to get revealed. They're going to have to back off. Binding them through. Oddman is there, though. This could
This is
be
what
the fight.
Cloud9 is afraid
Jumps
of.
in, Balls goes for the stun. Doesn't find anything. Special could re-engage with this one. TSM pushed them back.
Cloud9 did say there might be one really one-sided game because of a level 1 invade in this series, just because of the way that they play. They come out of this one mostly unscathed, but it still puts them behind early on in the jungle because they had to retreat after that invade.
So no leash at all for Meteos. His dual lane is
Elise,
down
though.
there. Yeah.
Elise is probably the one jungler that can easily sustain through without a leash.
So let's see if the Oddman can capitalize with the fact that he's going to have the earlier jungle start. Meteos just now finished the first camp. Look at this, the odd one.
Smart.
Going
Very smart.
across the map to steal the red buff.
And they do not have duo lane protection here because they're in conventional lanes once again. The lanes are playing out in TSM's favor drastically. They get the Renekton versus the Jax in a 1v1 matchup. Jax should not be able to handle this. Renekton should dominate balls right up top.
And look at that by Dyrus. He pushes the wave in and gets on the bottom side. If someone does show, he will get there before balls and tip the matchup. Meteos is not going to stop this, puts the Spiderling down, and actually misses the little minis there. So he's going to be well far behind unless he spots his camp again. He should actually know that the camp's not cleared.
Yeah, he will spot that camp. He knows he's been counter jungled by the Odd One. Nice double move there by the Odd One, getting Meteos down a little bit. That is very critical, especially for the top lane matchup. When you pick such heavy lane bullies, it is absolutely critical that your jungler put the other jungler down as well, because that just means your lanes get to capitalize on their inherent advantages even more so.
Speaking of advantages, push in upward, Sneaky down well below half. Wild Turtle finding the pressure to go through. Nice pickups in this one. Especially on Wild Turtle now getting a quick early lead here. See if the minions can be equalized.
And even though it doesn't reflect in the early gold total, TSM has had many things go drastically in their favor thus far. Setting Meteos behind, getting that early damage onto Sneaky, since every time he levels up, he will heal for less if he's sitting at lower health. And the fact that they're getting the 1v1 lanes in the top of the map will all be benefits of TSM.
And so you're going to see if Elimination can maybe equalize the health just a little bit. Getting some of the damage down with his Spell Thief's Edge, Tormented Soul doing a bit there. Bjergsen pushing very heavily. Meteos only wearing one buff, but most of the way to level 4. Trinkets on Dragon, looks for the flank, but that's going to be spotted by Wild Turtle's Trinket Ward. TSM back off, and they're going to be safe.
And look at this, Odd One coming in huge early on in this game too. He was 0-6 in game 1, and he's trying to make sure that doesn't happen again. Setting Meteos back and really controlling this top side of the jungle, which is quite honestly the most important side of the jungle for TSM, since Dyrus and Bjergsen's success is so critically tied to TSM victories.
Ooh, can they dive balls? They know Meteos on the wrong side of the map. Actually, Wards will watch Meteos go towards his Wraith camp, so there's time. TSM knows they've got time, but Meteos is like, hold on. Balls might get dived. He runs right up there. No dive yet for TSM.
Oh, this could be absolutely disastrous for Meteos. He comes in, realizes he's been counter-jungling, and he gets jumped on.
Some good damage, but a nice cocoon will keep Meteos safe. Oddman will not find the knockup, but it's a half-health Elise. Not exactly in fighting shape.
Yeah, he popped out and stunned Odd One very quickly, which saves his skin, but does not save his Golem camp. The big one was taken away.
And the recall does finish for balls. He's going to be safe, has the teleport. He can get back if he needs. High. Kind of fighting with Bjergsen. Bjergsen ran up in case there was some kind of an altercation. You saw him on the wrong side of the lane, but that was for the team. And you see it's a 7 minion lead in that mid lane right there. TSM, the tiniest of gold leads right now. Mostly, that is the Dyrus versus Balls matchup. 39-26. The recall already forced. Balls not even TPing to the lane, so Meteos had to hold that wave under turret. That's an XP and gold advantage. Good Black Shielding special. Doesn't go in for Sneaky.
I'm really trying to think as this mid lane battle goes down, why exactly these lanes played out the way they did as far as formations go. And I think it actually did have to do with Cloud9 kind of mind gaming themselves. There's no team in their right mind here in the finals would want to 1v1 a Jax against a Renekton. So therefore, TSM would have expected an absolute swap. So they thought TSM would do it the other way as well. But because TSM just played it standard, Cloud9 actually played it counter standard by putting it up this way, and that's why we see that matchup. Doing a later rotation wouldn't be beneficial.
Yeah, absolutely agree. And kind of thinking about it, in terms of the mind games there, I think this is probably the best choice for C9, because if they got it wrong the other way, they'd have the worst push.
Yeah.
Right? Like you don't want to be double wrong. That would be even worse.
There was also that level 1 where Cloud9 put a lot of the invade in, and since their bottom lane was down for that invade, there's no way they could have gotten them into the top lane without falling greatly behind. So the only option was for them to teleport up and meet Dyrus up there.
Yeah, so here we go. Bit of a wave freeze now for Cloud9. Wild Turtle, though, going to recall on 60 minion kills, meaning he's got enough to make his purchase of a BF sword if he wants it, and a couple potions just to make sure. So that is with a 7 minion lead, to be fair. So if Sneaky recalls off this, he's only sitting at, he's got 1700. Never mind. Sneaky's fine there. I was wondering if Wild Turtle had enough of a lead that you couldn't answer the recall right away. But That's not the case. Odd1 going to grab his own red buff once again. The respawns have come in. Mita's going to do the same with blue buff for high here. So second jungle rotations, nothing major happening. Just TSM holding the small laning lead.
This game is fairly similar to game 1 of the series as far as the start goes, except all the mini advantages were going to Cloud9 in game 1. This time all the mini advantages are actually going to TSM. So you can see that very scary Crocodile in the top lane takes almost half of Ball's health in a quick trade.
So level 7 versus level 6.5 right there. Dyrus once again going for
Tiamat. It's going to be a very important roam, actually. To see how aggressive Dyrus gets at the turret, trying to shut down Balls here. He does take one turret shot, and his Slice and Dice is down now.
And the stun's going to land. Help Pick's going to go through as well. Ball's going to be a little bit careful. It gets the ulti. That should be very safe. Nowhere for Dyrus to go, and Balls secures first blood.
And notice how High stopped attacking at the end, because even though a kill onto Lulu is nice, it is way more critical that Balls has the gold to fight Dyrus. That only evens it out there as the invade continues from TSM.
They want to steal the red buff, but it's not going to happen there. It's going to be secured there. Meteos and High helping. The mid laner well away from his lane, letting Bjergsen push that lane even farther in. But it's par for the course, right? Cloud9's mid laner, 55 minions only at 9 minutes. But it got his team first blood, and he got his team a red buff. High plays for his team, not for himself. You're seeing the evidence right here.
It was a very timely roam up to catch Dyrus. It did even out the gold in the top lane. Especially with that Tiamat coming in from Dyrus, it is critical that Balls gets to his Blade of the Ruin King as quickly as possible.
And it's interesting how differently timed these blue buffs are as well, looking at the factors in the map. Ooh, nice little pick. The ulti goes through. Lemonation wants this kill. The tether's still there on a Wild Turtle, but he takes a lot of damage on the backside. Ulti comes if. Summoner heal.
Yep.
Bit more than needed, I think, but especially going to take some harass again. Lemonation also forced away. One summoner down for TSM.
Yeah, this is going to be turning into a brawl. High again trying to roam. He's got to be careful not to over-roam and lose control of his mid lane turret. A lot of pings going down here, whether to try and stop this push or just take the dragon, because Dyrus is waiting in the wings.
This could be all kinds of interesting. Maybe a bit of a 3 versus 2. TSM making their way down. Put a ward to make sure it's all safe. Meteos goes back in. He'll save the wave.
TSM needs to make a play right now. Dyrus has abandoned his post in the top lane, so they either have to get a push on the mid lane or a straight down to the dragon. High trying to harass them as much as possible. They are really just delaying. A fight here would be suicidal by Cloud9.
Well, Dyrus has teleport. Balls does not. He's going to push this top lane up and get some experience back, but TSM says, you know what, screw the turret. We want the money from Dragon. Special leading the charge in this one. This will go over, and the turret won't even die. Bjergsen actually getting a bit of a catch there on the High. Some damage comes through Meteos. Cocoon's gonna land a Wild Turtle.
Dyrus
Special
is gone
getting
right now to 44.
Oh my gosh, Special about to fall. The chase down. Sneaky gets it. Wild Turtle in bad shape. Repel comes through for Meteos. He finds a second. Odd1's ulti not quite coming through in time. Elimination taking big poke. But Bjergsen getting binded means more damage comes through. Odd1 low on health. Cloud9 get 2 kills for Dragon.
This is just such an awesome series to watch because you see TSM making really smart plays, but then Cloud9 still finding a way of taking advantage. At that moment, TSM had a roam down bottom from Dyrus, as they do a little brawl in the top lane. A roam bottom from Dyrus, but then because he had went back to the top, Cloud9 then found the engage. It was smart of Dyrus to go up because they got the dragon, he needed to get back to his post, but then TSM didn't expect that immediate aggression from Cloud9. That's why they're able to go in and get those kills, chasing everybody down.
And Balls gets away from the fight, no worries. Got Dyrus super low.
He traded almost everything right there, and this is a Bjergsen roam coming back.
Summoner teleport going to be used. Ignite is on the stun. Dyrus picks up the kill. Balls a little too greedy on that one. Getting the recall first.
First big play there by TSM where Balls could not take advantage of what TSM had done. Because of everything that happened during that replay, Balls committed very heavily to try and end the lane against Dyrus by getting a kill. Dyrus survived, and that had overcommitted Balls into a roam kill for Bjergsen.
Well played. Now both these mid laners have shown up top to turn that matchup the way they wanted it to. Dyrus now up. It's going to be actually pushing the bottom lane first. Black Shield use, special. Doesn't find much thanks to Dark Binding. But yeah, so both mid laners have tried to make that top lane work for them. And Dyrus, now that this team is up a dragon and he's up 20 CS in lane, he's got to be ahead here.
These mid laners are roaming so incredibly much right here. High can't get over aggressive because they do have to worry about what comes from behind them there. Meteos trying to hold mid lane. He's not the best person for this job.
Yeah, rank 1 W, not the ideal situation, but He'll do what he can. Bjergsen and Odd1 are there to put out some damage. High will be joining the party a little bit late on this when you're seeing the shield going towards the Odd1. They're putting out some decent damage, but the retreat pings come out. They know about this. High pushed away.
Very good zone control by Bjergsen in the mid lane. That CS advantage is ever growing. Every solo lane right here for TSM does have a lead. It's just the team play of Cloud9 that has kept this game close. This top lane is becoming much more interesting here. Ball's trying to get some aggression on.
Ulti popped in on both sides, but Dara's getting pushed completely away. He's got to sustain back up. It's Cutlass versus Tiamat and a Giant Spell. I feel like Darius is very tanky, but if Balls gets one set of good trades, it's not a good thing.
Yeah, the Karma Roam is coming at him once again, though, so Balls has to be careful about this. The ward control is actually dropped in the river. Right there, that's why he wards over the wall to see the Karma approach. Bjergsen just doing his best to harass him down. There's a lot of Karma damage here.
Balls does not land the stun, actually.
One more rotation of spells.
This is going to be close. Balls 300
health.
health.
The Q.
He's running back and forth. There's a W coming through. The Q lands. Bjergsen gets the solo kill.
That is the lane control from Bjergsen here. So much of Darius' top lane has been ruined against Cloud9 when High and Meteos roam up to kill him. He's finally experiencing the other side of the game, with Balls dying twice to Bjergsen.
And that puts TSM now 700, 800 gold in the lead. The first major lead we've seen so far for TSM in this final match, but they're poised to look good in game 2. High is going to push his opponent away for a short time. Mid lane turret did not fall because of that roam. Odd1 held the wave and held it successfully. Cloud9 pretty much holding equal to negative across all their matchups. TSM doing a great job in the laning phase. The turret and Dragon, of course, helping quite a bit as well. Down 1 kill. Dragon's in 2 minutes. We'll see where the next move is.
And while these teams are going hit for hit against each other, it is important to note that Odd1's Wriggle's Lantern is actually fairly slowly transforming. He's only at 13 stacks right now. Very low CS as well. A lot of his emphasis was put on early game counter jungling to make sure his lanes could have the solo experience that they required. It has worked out for TSM, but not necessarily for the Odd1.
Ooh, nice move by High. Gets himself behind the minion wave to block the next Q from Bjergsen. Pops the Whimsy. He's getting a little bit careful, but Bjergsen now out of cooldowns. High finds a trade back in. He gives himself a positive trade on that one.
High, of course, still has that wild growth. If he gets all in, there is an Ignite on Bjergsen's side for a little bit of extra aggression. That mid lane matchup is absolutely going to Bjergsen this time. His roam top lane could not be understated with how important it has been to keep Darius going.
So Darius just kind of pushing Balls while you're seeing the Jax not even try to stay in this lane right now. Going around, putting a ward down, but has to be pretty afraid. Spotted out by Darius. Both these guys level 10. Double Doran's Blade comes through for Balls, plus a Ninja Tabby. Just trying to hold on a little bit longer in these fights. Ulti again. Bjergsen got great wave clear on Karma.
Yeah, that mid lane is going to be shoving so much back and forth. It's actually a 900 gold lead on Bjergsen, though, when compared with High. And he's even went for that Null Magic Mantle, which is not very like a Lulu to do, because he's just taking so much damage from Bjergsen. He needs a little bit of extra defensive capability before he goes for those bigger AP ticket items on Lulu.
So the game's slowing down a bit. We haven't seen action since that kill in the top lane. These guys trading farms, 600-700 gold, still the difference. But Dragon's up in 4.
I think with these teams, so many moves will have a chain reaction off of the Dragon plays. We can see the beginning of it right now. TSM trying to get a pre-Dragon gank down so they could take it without contention. And Meteos, hoping that that's going to be happening, is trying to gank the top lane. This would be a turret trade / kill trade. TSM goes, so does Cloud9.
Okay, level lead for Darius. He goes in, but Meteos as well. Balls trying to take this one down. The CC. The Flash Cocoon lands despite Darius' flash. Will the second rotation be enough? Down to 500 health. The turret dive now coming through. What does Darius have? Doesn't land anything. Balls picks up the kill, and he's got teleport, but TSM take the Dragon for it.
Yep, an absolute trade of objectives right there. Almost worked out for TSM if Darius could have flashed a little bit sideways from that Cocoon, but he flashed straight away, got hit anyway, and Cloud9 could chase down. But because they chased so far and Darius already had a lot of advantage in that lane, it's a kill for Dragon instead of a kill turret for Dragon.
Yeah, that was so impressive there. Darius, despite going down, took one, I think, properly for the team with that one. And I also got to assume with how good C9 are, they knew Dragon was right then. They knew there was no counter gank. Odd1 was taking Dragon right then, but as you said, the minions not able to pull through for C9.
That was
good for TSM.
Yes, that was Cloud9's attempt to outplay TSM's move, since TSM is much stronger in the mid-game Dragon fights. Knowing there's teleport on both the top laners, they didn't want a 5v5, and with TSM's advantage, they were able to come out slightly ahead because Dyrus played it well.
Absolutely, he did, and he holds on to a 35 minion lead in the matchup. Sunfire Cape already done. So Sunfire Tiamat versus not even a completed Blade of the Ruined King.
Yeah.
I gotta say, that is a significant lane matchup lead. High pushing back against Bjergsen, but Bjergsen doesn't even take damage for this. The shields are strong enough there. He's getting towards that death cap, whereas High is building magic resist. Even though the gold lead on the map, on the top scoreboard, doesn't look that big for TSM, they've spiked up a lot of items.
Yes, it is a 1,000 gold advantage for both of TSM's solo laners. So the longer they can keep this isolated phase going, the better it is for them. But another gank from onto Dyrus right here. If they can land the cocoon, there it is.
The flash jump there. Dyrus has no spells up, not even the ult, but he's got nowhere to go, and Balls gets the 3rd kill in a row onto Dyrus.
Right now, Cloud9's strategy is just get Balls going. They continually gank for him. They want Jax to be a threat in the late game, and it is very tense at this moment. All the ganks have exposed them in other areas. You can see the rest of their lanes, especially the mid, are struggling a little bit, whereas Balls isn't even doing that great despite all of the gank assistance.
Gonna try to catch back up. Double dagger comes through, but still no recipe. High's mid lane turret is about to go down. Bjergsen, one more shot. He will claim that. So Team Solo mid now has their 2nd turret kill. The sights might be set on bottom. They get a blue buff steal.
Top. They're trying to kill him again.
Wow, Dyrus, poor Dyrus pops the ulti, but the stun comes through, and it's another kill for Cloud9. They refuse to let Dyrus live.
That was a straight-up mistake. Cloud9 also pushing down bottom lane because they were getting flanked from behind. This could be a very dead duo for Cloud9 in the bot lane.
Elimination's got to be careful. Lands a root onto special, but there comes the nice solar flare. It's not going to be the Zenith Blade, and here comes High to keep him safe. Top lane outer turret goes down, and C9 get away.
Cloud9 is actually escaping this. They had no business getting away from that one because it was pretty much a pile-on dive to the bottom lane. They went the only place where TSM wasn't and still got out of this one. Plus, they rotate for a turret push in the mid lane.
It's down to half. Cloud9 can't stay too much longer. So they're going to back out on this one. So, geez, a lot just happened in the recent past. We're back to an equal game on gold. Balls sitting at 4-2 and 0 score with this one, holding onto the bottom lane.
He's only 200 gold behind right now. They trade blue buff for blue buff if we look at the big picture here. Did he not get that?
Lemon got it instead of High.
That's not good.
That was greedy, too.
Yeah.
There's no one around. He just dark binded it and said, nope.
Whoops.
To be fair, they both have the same score. Equal participation. Lemon's having just the same game as High.
But really, trying to track what just happened, Dyrus made his first mistake of the game right there, teleporting to the top turret. It is so easy to underestimate the strength of Jax when he has full attack speed stacks while beating on your turret. Engaging on a mid-fight Jax is nearly suicide. And the rest of TSM missed an opportunity. If that was played a little bit differently, or if Cloud9 had played a little bit worse during that, TSM would have a 3,000 or 4,000 gold advantage after all that happened. Dyrus wouldn't have died in the top lane. They would have killed Sneaky and Lemon Nation, and this would be a completely different game. But because Cloud9 is scraped by, they're kind of back into this game after having a pretty big disadvantage in the early game. And
look how passive now TSM starting to play. Wild Turtle, no one was on that side of the map, but didn't have vision. He was last hitting with rockets. He's afraid of the minion wave just at equal footing with a turret like on screen.
It's true. Oh no, the Gatling gun sound is stuck. Do not watch Gorky again.
It's been jammed. He's got to reload it properly.
Bjergsen,
take better care of your gun.
Bjergsen's death cap is incredibly critical here, though, because the advantage between High could actually be one of the big things that decides this game if they can force some mid-game team fights in a minute around that next dragon, or with some nice turret pushing. Everyone on TSM trying to group up and take advantage of this.
Wild Turtle shooting that turret down as fast as he possibly can. Taking a bunch of damage in this one. Minions are still there. It's going to be a good collapse. TSM does take the tier 2 turret down in the bottom lane, making that 4-2 and a 700 gold lead.
I'm sorry. The rest of TSM is actually trying to rotate down to the mid lane right here as the turret is being pushed by High and Meteos. Oh dear, that is some big moves right here.
Now,
everyone on TSM trying to come in. High trying to escape this one.
All right, the repel does get him away there. The cocoon's going to land on the odd one. It's going to be C9 still trying to run away. Thankfully, there's no outer turret blocking Meteos' path. He is still in the escape. Good whimsy by High. Has to flash the Glitter Lance, finds onto many. And that will be C9 getting away.
Game sounds have been taken down a little bit just because of the Gatling gun, as we fix that on the spectator end. But this is now a bottom lane push by Sneaky right here. They're starting to even out the turrets from TSM. If TSM loses control here, there is some big penalties for that overall in their chance for this win.
And Dragons in 7 seconds. I want to know what, because the thing is, like, I feel like teams aren't even going to be team fighting for Dragon necessarily. I mean, maybe they do in this case, but every time Dragon's up, something else happens too.
Well, with the Dragon up right now, it is very critical that TSM come to get this, but it's been an early start by Sneaky. He's getting a little bit low. This is a very critical fight. TSM is trying to make it in rage and will want to fight.
Both top laners have their teleports there, but then
Flash
the other
it in,
side
he
of the
stole
map,
it.
Flash engage. Wow, yes, the odd one. He trades his life, but down goes Lemonation. Knockup from High. It's a 2 versus 3 in this battle to a certain extent. The fight's coming through. It's 1 for 1. Sorry, I got that one wrong. Here we go, the battle's still coming across. Welter to the back line, gets the heal, staying alive. Bjergsen, though, gets locked down, and he's gonna fall. Sneaky cutting back away from Xpecial. High, trying to help his team out, but Xpecial, the dash over the wall. Sneaky survives this one. Now Xpecial is on the run.
The outplays in these fights, they're playing at such a high level right now, and TSM is just barely losing out these ones. Ball's actually teleported to the bot lane to try and continue this push after dueling Dyrus, and they clean up on the backside.
Nicely done for that one. It's going to be another kill, making that a 3 for 1 overall, despite the great Dragon steal from the Odd One.
That's the thing that keeps TSM in this game as well, is those Dragon steals from the Odd One. After losing the fight, it would have been devastating if they lost even more.
So they sit on a 600 gold deficit right now. TSM had a lot of good looks in the early game here. Some good plays. Dyrus was winning his matchup, but now that Renekton is 1-4-0. Not the kind of score you'd want from someone you expect to win the lane. Yeah. But that was all of C9's attention. Everywhere else, it went great for TSM.
High roamed up there. Almost all of Meteos' ganks were there. They spent multiple turret dives on it. They really care about the late game of Jax and making sure balls can do that. They picked Jax into the Renekton matchup, so that's kind of how they had to play this one. And it's just been a matter of how much can TSM take while Cloud9 puts so much attention towards that top lane.
See what it ends up being. TSM want to control Baron right now, though. This is their area of the map that they want to hold. 800 gold deficit means basically nothing. As you talked about, Bjergsen having a death cap versus the Merc Treads of High is such a substantial advantage that we can see if TSM can turn a fight off that without Bjergsen getting caught this time around. Trinity Force also done here for Wild Turtle, so he's hit a power spike. There's some extra MR on Xpecial. He shouldn't be taking too much damage from High either.
Yeah. It's actually a 2,000 gold difference between High and Bjergsen, so the gold is distributed much differently across these teams because the overall gold lead is advantage of Cloud9, but that means the other 4 members of Cloud9 are actually 4,000 gold ahead the 4 members of TSM. So it's kind of playing out the way you would expect. Bjergsen is trying to be the hard carry, the sole holder of their gold lead, whereas Cloud9 is more evenly spread out and High is in a more supportive role for his team.
Speaking of being sort of supportive for the team as well, Lemonation, you talked about it last game, but him going for the 40% CDR build, same situation here. Aether Wisp picked up, so soon he'll have the Twin Shadows once again. And those upgrades, when he gets there to the massive Dark Bindings, of which he hits one right there onto Bjergsen. Yeah. Makes him take some damage for the ward sweeping.
Bjergsen can't afford to get caught by those Dark Bindings in the open. It's okay in the Baron Pit like that, but it's a 3-second route, and he has no tenacity. Plus, there is no Mikhail's completed on Xpecial. There's no escape if he gets caught by a Dark Binding. Cloud9 would kill him.
None at all. He's got to be a little bit more careful about this one. Does not even have Flash either, so Bjergsen has to be doubly cautious. Actually, very few summoners at all are up for TSM right now. If they get caught out, it will be killed.
Oh, man.
Wild Turtle, though, he wants Meteos. Repel is used. He doesn't have anywhere to go. Cocoon at the last second does land on a Wild Turtle. That is a rank 3 Cocoon, so it takes a good long time. Spiderlings now blocking rockets. No damage taken by Meteos on the retreat. Good escape right there. Elimination, good. Black Shield doesn't quite find Dyrus.
TSM is going to want to control this one immediately, though. They saw High was in a side lane, and now the jungle threat for Cloud9 is down. They can do this Baron without taking much damage because of the shields from Karma. It is on Cloud9 to try and stop this one, though. No jungler coming in to try and defend this Baron.
See what they can do with this one. Wards come across. Baron down below 1/3 HP. It's still taking a bit of damage. TSM do not disengage, but the kill picked up on Xpecial. Balls goes in for the fight. Baron's not low enough to kill, though. It's a kill into Wild Turtle. Dyrus and Odd One staying for this one. The knockup, Oddone pushed out of the pit. Double kill, triple kill here for Sneaky. He's killing everybody. And now Balls secures Baron in a 4-for-0.
Wow, that play right there may decide the game for Cloud9. They collapsed on TSM, who had completely overcommitted to the Baron. When you're doing Baron, TSM knows this. You either peel off or you finish the Baron. They did a half and half, and that made it not a 4v5. It made it a Cloud9 and Baron versus TSM. That's why they won so convincingly.
And so it's a Baron buff picked up, a couple of kills, as well as the mid lane inhibitor. C9 going to be sure to disengage after that one, but they swept the minions away and now hold on to a significant 7,000 gold.
Taking another look at this one, X Special went in while Dyrus was ulted on the Baron and he didn't even peel off. Then it's dead. It's now a 4v4 and they're still hitting the Baron instead of peeling. It's not low enough to do that at that point. Cloud9 uses the free time to decimate the TSM team trapped within the Baron pit, and they take everything from TSM.
What an amazing team fight there. Cloud9 got a heck of a lot for that one. They're looking awesome now in game 2. High just got his death cap off that fight. It's a third completed item for Sneaky as well. Phantom Dancer, Last Whisper are now in the build. Twin Shadows are done. Everything now looking so much better for this Cloud9 lineup. A 6-0-3 Sneaky, gotta say, on Graves. He's having a gigantic impact here.
And just because of all the miscellaneous assist and Baron gold that High picked up off of that, he could complete his death cap. So he is kind of crested back towards Bjergsen's level as far as power goes. Karma and Lulu, arguably Lulu actually has better late game scaling, and since we're now 30 minutes into the game, it's actually swinging back towards High. Balls though, wonder if he can take on 2 of them.
Bjergsen out under there is going to be the root. Landed, Balls puts the stun up and goes for Bjergsen. How's the damage going to be? The knockback from the odd one, the jump in towards Bjergsen, the shield not keeping him quite alive enough. The damage still comes through the flashes. Ooh. Very successful for Bjergsen. That is a shutdown going to the odd one of the Pharaoh Flare, but that was all for Dragon and a push in the bottom lane for Cloud9.
That committed 3. What can Cloud9 get back on the other side? Every time TSM makes a move, Cloud9 tries to take an edge. They get the turret off of this one.
All right, global gold lead even bigger for C9. That is a Baron off of Balls and a bit of a shutdown gold, but still you got to say better for the red team. 13-4 in this game, still 8,000 up, and they own the jungle.
What an interesting turn of events in this game. Cloud9 was really pressed for so much of the early game. And we said in Champion Select that TSM was really all in at winning this game in the first 25 minutes. The way Karma scales, the way Renekton does, so much lane advantage, but now he is no match for Jax. You actually saw them having to put 3 people in the top lane just to take down Balls. The odd one, even though he has transformed his Pharaoh Flare, it's rather late. He's not incredibly powerful with it. Meteos with his % health damage and his magic penetration is more substantial of an impact than Xin Zhao right now. And obviously, because of all the kills the Sneaky's picked up in team fights, and even though Graves isn't known as a tremendous late game carry, when compared to Corki, he has more power. So everyone on Cloud9 now, because they've crested that 31-minute mark in the game while actually holding a gold lead, are even more ahead of TSM at this juncture.
So let's see what we can do with this one now, because Cloud9 going to look to turn the screws. They are not a team to wait around when they have the lead. This is a group of guys who close their games out rather quickly and efficiently, and right now the focus is on the bottom lane with Ball split pushing top. Teleport is available on the Jax, and the wave is cleared away. 3 to 4 members now of C9 waiting for this next wave. TSM waiting to defend. And here comes the siege.
Cloud9 has the same synergy here with a 6-second cooldown on the Cocoon and a 6-second cooldown on the Dark Binding. They're just going to take pot shots at TSM until they find something. And if they do, they can dump down a whole bunch of damage with Glitter Lances and Graves AoE.
Well, Turtle does take some poke there. So they found one piece of the puzzle. There's a Bloodthirster for lifesteal, though, for the Corki. Maybe he'll survive that one. There's the push in from Dyrus. Balls actually pops his ulti to not take damage while hitting that turret.
Yeah, that's not the most beneficial move for him right now. Renekton, really the whole game, has a great chance of 1v1ing him, but Cloud9 getting pretty bold with these mid lane pushes.
Bottom turret's going to lose a quarter of its health right here. Mid lane inhibitor going to be respawning very soon. Cloud9 do move their way around. 32-11 into the game, that comes back up, but just as soon as it gets pushed, Balls comes around as well. Try to hold this with the team for a 5-man push. Sneaky not getting too scared. But there
here comes the Renekton ultimate, but no clean engage. TSM wants to force something. Cloud9 staying fairly grouped up. Spooky Ghost come out to slow.
Yeah, it's going to be the slow. Dyrus still in the front lines, but just gets rooted down. His ulti basically doing nothing on this one. Sneaky putting in damage from the back lines. Only 300 damage crits, but there's the stun. Dyrus getting locked down. A great solar flare comes to the back. C9 back up once more, but that's 2 ultimates down for TSM.
Very pokey team fights, but Cloud9 a little bit stronger after all that. Gets the inhibitor and backs away unscathed.
And that goes down 144 until Baron respawns, meaning super minions will threaten TSM's base while Baron is on the map and in play. Something that C9 might just wait around for. We'll have to see what they choose to do with this one. Ball's still just getting as much gold as possible. He's actually counter jungling. I guess that's Larry the White Camp, right? Quick shot, so that's the way that one's gonna work. And still just gold being accrued. C9 waiting for their next opening.
Yeah, Cloud9 has been able to wait a very long time this game in order to make this happen. All of the ganks that Meteos prioritized towards balls are really paying off for them at this juncture in the game. So much of it really does have to go down to that split decision from TSM where they were not on the same page around the Baron pit. That is really a huge detriment to their overall strategy here, because that was their moment. That was when they were strongest. I feel like past this point, they're really just hoping that Cloud9 makes a mistake. And Cloud9 is not the type of team to make errors this big.
It's very unlikely for these guys. They very, very seldom lose a game when they've got a gold lead. The Siege bottom didn't do much. All they did was really recapitalize on the mid inhibitor going down and kept that one as pressure. The minion waves all passed the river for these guys, though Dyrus wants something to say about that one. And we'll see Baron 24 seconds away. Dragon 113, well, 108 now. And this seems to be the objective control game. C9 taking it nice and slow. They know TSM very good at defending.
Yeah, a lot of this just has to do with TSM being able to keep control of those super minions. They cannot let them reach their base. Luckily for them, it is the mid lane, which is a reachable lane as far as TSM's clearing is concerned. It's actually time that Cloud9 could find a fight if they get the right initiation. Kind of trying to cut TSM short there.
Not quite found. Twin Shadows halfway back in the cooldown. The Ghosts did return, at least partially, to elimination. And there we go. Mid lane, not immediately threatening, but Cloud9. Ooh, they walked right by a ward. TSM actually, I think, sees the fact that they're right here.
Yeah, they're going to know they're doing that Baron bait around the wall. There's no sweepers off cooldown yet for Cloud9. They try and fly in, but he gets smacked in the face by a Karma Q. Ball's still trying to find that initiation.
There's still a wave towards the bottom. Balls could TP and immediately force pressure, but that would be a big risk of getting collapsed on and a giant cooldown gone.
Then he wouldn't have any TP back either. That's not necessarily the best move, but coming around the side may just be their chance.
There we go. Balls lays the stun on a Dyrus. Dyrus going to dash backwards from this one. Going to not get locked up by a Dark Binding, but a great Solar Flare does fine. Odd with a gigantic opening with a 4-man ulti, but the elimination is going to be too much. Odd one about to fall. That's 1 kill picked up, and here comes the chase. Cloud9 get them out of their hair, and they run right back towards Baron.
They kill the jungler in a very shield-filled fight. It was very difficult to take down each other's carry, but this could be another Baron. We've seen this situation before. Skara says he knows the feel of those game-losing Barons. Because we've seen this, it was actually TSM with 5 on the Baron versus a dead jungler. Will they peel? Will they stick off? Will they secure? They secure.
Wow, very quickly picked up the teleport in for Dyrus, though. Binding does land onto him. He does not have spells available. The damage comes through. The stun as well. Sneaky, godlike now. 15-4. The overall score line, 10,000 gold Cloud9.
Cloud9 doing the Baron play right. Goodbye, says Sneaky right there to Wild Turtle. They get the Dragon afterwards. This is turning into a gargantuan gold.
And it's going to be the Dragon easily falling with that one. Elimination, that Dark Binding was such a clutch shot right there. The ward set up for it, made it all happen. C9 now go to the bottom side. They don't even want to wait for TSM to respawn. They don't want to wait to cash in their gold. Baron buff in the 5v3 is enough for these guys.
Yeah, knowing that Wild Turtle is down, a significant amount of TSM's damage threat is not able to defend right here. And they actually are keeping Karma back as well, meaning they can just power down this turret.
And there's the damage coming in. Balls and Sneaky putting out so much on that one. Down it goes. 37 minutes in. It's going to be a second inhibitor as well. And High is going to move back and hold in with his team. 5 men strong in the mid lane. 10 seconds until Wild Turtle comes back up. It means the mid inhibitor will fall at the same time. There's 4 minutes of super minions now, and C9, they're not even done yet. They check, hey, is the red buff up? Can we take that first?
May as well take some more because they're going to be waiting a little bit. They're all going to be going back to base before they try and do what I think would be a final push. They have really controlled this game once they reached their spike in power, understanding when your champions are strong and when the enemy champions are strong. I think Cloud9 is the best team in North America in understanding power spikes, and that's exactly how they won this game.
13,000 gold. Better champions at this point in, higher levels as well. You've got basically a 2-level lead down the line for most of these champions on the map. So C9 now looking for the death blow. They've taken as much gold as they can. The recalls come through, and the final item purchases will be added. High adds a Morella Namicon as his 4th offensive item.
Banshee's Veil comes out for Sneaky as well. That will protect him greatly if one of Bjergsen's Karma Qs finds its way through the tank line of Cloud9.
Guardian Angel for Balls, going to keep him safe, and a Zhonya's for Lemonation.
Yeah, that means he can finally become an aggressive Morgana. He's went for the Alacrity boots 2 games in a row on Morg as well. And I really love that pickup on him.
Yeah.
The increased movement speed on Alacrity in the 4.5 patch, he's the first one to really take advantage of it. But it's just allowed him to move towards people much faster and mind game them with Dark Bindings. A lot of critical Dark Bindings deciding some fights here.
So TSM as a group of 5 are shoving out mid lane to try to buy some time for themselves, but C9 already knocking now at the front door in the top lane. Tier 2 turret likely to fall rather quickly. Ball's never made it very far in this lane in the 1v1, but it was enough to get him into the late game. There's the turret. Number 8 on the map. TSM back in the defense here, but 2 dead inhibitors means super minions are coming in fast and furious down the bottom lane. Smite comes in, keeping him safe for now.
Lock of the Iron Solari actually was burned there just because of very nice inner flame by Bjergsen over the wall. Now they're going in the side of the base, making this turret nearly indefensible for TSM. Ball's also had his attack speed stacked up, so he was even more threatening when he came in.
There's a giant wave in the bottom side of the map hitting the Nexus, meaning that Wild Turtle had to defend that. This will be inhibitor number 3. Solar Flare comes in, special dives. There's the ulti from Lemonation. 1 kill already. It's going to be many more for Cloud9. Dyrus cannot stand back here. Sneaky and Meteos will kill him. That's a double kill for the Cloud9 jungler. Now in towards Bjergsen. Balls stays alive. 1 more kill picked up. 2 more kills picked up. Only Wild Turtle is alive. The binding lands, and why not secure the kill real quick? That's going to be picked up there, and that is game 2 now. Cloud9 1 game away from the spring split title.
This one took him a little bit longer. It was a little bit more tense in the mid game, but by the end of it, it was just as decisive as game 1. Cloud9